Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Of course, I'm Lashawnda and I am going to be giving you a quick 2022 recap of my everything that has happened in 2022, and honestly, it's a blur. If we're just being honest, I feel like all of us just made it through the year, okay? And it's a new year, 2023. I want to talk about some goals that I have set for myself personally and for my business. I also want to share what my word of the year is, any personal goals or things that I have coming up, and just whatever else happens to come up in this conversation, okay? So the goal is for this to be really chill. I have my notes right here, so I'm gonna be kind of looking down here and there just to see that, but let's hop right on into it. Like I mentioned, with the 2022 recap, it was honestly like a blur. When I first started doing my recap, I realized I need to do better with keeping up with what happens throughout the year, because don't get me wrong, I journal every single day. I'm really big on journaling. I journal every day, and if I'm not physically journaling, I have an online journal as well. But I realized that it's so easy for you to feel like nothing got accomplished for an entire year if you don't accomplish a really big goal that you may have had in mind, or if maybe you accomplish something really big at the beginning of the year and then it just kind of falls by the wayside by the time you get to the end of the year. So I really want to do better this time with documenting what has happened throughout the year, what my goals are, if I hit my goals, and those type of things. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I am creating this video, because this is a great way for me to look back throughout the rest of the years and be like, okay, these are what my goals were. I actually hit that goal, or I remember when I hit that during that year. So that's what this video was kind of for, documentation for me, and also something that I can share with you guys. So one thing that I did get to accomplish last year is shutting down my photography business. So this was a really big step for me. In case you did not know, I have been a photographer for over 8-9 years. I started off with family photography, and then I kind of moved into doing being a second photographer for weddings. And then I started doing brand photography for business owners, and I've been just kind of on and off with that. So I have actually tried to shut that business down before, but I kept getting clients coming back because they wanted me to take their pictures again, and then they would refer me to their friends and business clients. And so I was still kind of doing it behind the scenes upon request. And last year I did one more big push for doing photography, and I told myself that in October, that was going to be the last shoot that I've done, and I'm going to officially shut it down. So I did that. I did that for multiple different reasons. I shut down my photography business because that's not the direction that I wanted to go in. And I felt like I was continuing to do photography because it was what had become comfortable for me. It was easy to make money off of it. I was very skilled in it. People kind of knew me as a brand photographer. So it was just kind of easy to take on clients and just do that. But one thing that I realized last year, with me really eliminating a lot of things from my plate to stop me from stretching myself thin, is that the more you say yes to, the more you're saying no to. So if you're saying yes to one thing, you're saying no to something else. And I want to start saying yes to more opportunities that better fulfill me and that better suit the direction that I'm trying to go into. So I felt that it was in the best interest for me to shut down the photography business so that I can go all in on YouTube. I can go all in with my podcast and my coaching business. Another thing that happened in 2022 is that I rebranded myself to Lashawnda Smith. And it's funny because I was branded as Lashawnda Smith before, and then I ended up, anyways, I digress. So if you were with me at the beginning of me launching this channel, I was referring to myself as the first year coach, or the first year business coach. And instantly I started realizing throughout that year that I was referring to myself as that, is that I was putting myself in the box. So yes, I can help beginners in business, but I wanted to also have programs and different services and resources available for people that were at a different level. And I felt that I put myself in the box by referring to myself as the first year coach. I also wanted to change this because when you think about different YouTubers and how they build their brand, when you search in the YouTube search bar, 9 times out of 10, you're searching their name. You remember them for their name because their name is a part of their brand. When they get announced on a stage to do a speaking engagement, they are announced by their name. And I wanted to be known by my name and not necessarily the first year coach. So I did that rebranding. I want to say that was like in the middle of last year. And I'm really glad that I did that because I think I'm going to be a lot happier with that direction long term. In 2022, at the very end, I was able to launch my group coaching program. So I launched the Path to Launch, where I help coaches create their first signature coaching program. And it was different. I'm not gonna lie, it was definitely a journey. I realized the thing about business is you try different things and you do different things and you realize what you like and what you don't like. And I will say that with me launching that group coaching program, I realized very quickly that I do not like the launch model of launching like a new program. And so even though I showed up and I pat myself on the back, I did what I was supposed to do, I now realize going into 2023 that there's going to be a pivot in how I position my programs and what I do to essentially enroll it, or not enroll it, to, what's the word I'm looking for? To reveal what the program is and open enrollment, for lack of better terms. So 2022 was really a learning experience when it comes down to business. I feel that I was really learning about what direction I wanted to go in. I feel like I was still focusing on who I was wanting to target, who I was wanting to help, what platforms I was wanting to show up on. And so this year I'm going to do a lot better with documenting the little things that have happened in my business. So my word of 2023 is expand and outsource. And the reason why I picked this word is because one thing about me, and you can probably relate to this as well, I wear all the hats. You normally wear all the hats when you are especially a new business owner. I wear all the hats and I try to do all the things. And sometimes it's just not meant for you to do all the things, okay? You gotta ask for help. And I am the number one person that do not like asking people for help. And so one thing that I am working on all throughout this year is outsourcing in my business, even outsourcing in my personal life, and like whether it's running errands or doing household tasks or whatever, but just outsourcing in areas that I'm not the strongest in when it comes to my business, and allowing me to stay in my zone of genius and show up and create YouTube content, show up and create podcast episodes, show up in person and do these coaching events in person or masterminds or whatever. Those are the things that I love to do. And then there's also things in my business that I don't like to do, like editing. I do not like editing videos. It's so time consuming. It's not overwhelming, but it's just like, it's a time suck. And I don't enjoy doing it. I don't enjoy the process. So just recognizing the different things that I would rather hand off so that I can get that time back, that's going to be really big for me. And I know that with me outsourcing, I'm going to be able to expand my business. So that's why I have both of those words as my word of the year. So now that we've talked about the 2022 recap, I've told you what my word of the year is. If you have a word of the year, put it in the comment section below. I would love to know what your word of the year is and how you plan on utilizing this year to make that word of the year come to life. Like, how are you going to execute in your business or your personal life to, utilize this word? My 2023 business code, I had a couple of different ones. I had a list, but I wanted to narrow it down to the top 5 just to keep this video as short as possible. So my top 5 is, for one, I want to build a personal brand around me and not just my business. Now, this one is really big for me. This one is really big, girl, okay? Because one thing that I learned, and I don't know if this video is posted yet, but I have a video coming up that's going to talk more in reference to this, but I don't want to be your information booty call, okay? I hate to say it like that, but that's not what I'm going for. And the reason why I bring this up is because I'm so used to just being in a teaching space that even on YouTube, like I'm trying to teach you how to do this, and here's the 5 steps to do that, and I'm going to show you how to start this for beginners. And I really want to transition this year into serving my community, building a community, being more relatable, and building a brand around me where regardless of what content that I'm posting, you are coming to my platform because you want to, connect and follow me. Like you are here for me, not necessarily for what I provide to you. So I really am going to be altering my content to make sure that I allow you guys to get to know me on a more personal level. That's probably going to include a little bit of vlogging and stuff. I'm still trying to work out behind the scenes of what I want that to look like for me, how much I want to be able to share. So that way I'm not always just sharing informational content, but I'm also sharing parts of me that you can relate to. The second goal that I have for my business is to hit a 10K month in my business. So I really, really, really want to be able to bring in $10,000 per month in my business. I don't know when it's gonna happen, okay? I'm believing God for big things, but that is my goal. One thing that I said I was gonna stop doing is giving myself a big monetary goal at the end of the year, because I get so disappointed and depressed when I don't hit that goal. So I'm learning to break them off in smaller chunks, because I know once I hit that smaller goal, then that goal is going to come. So my focus now is to work on hitting $10,000 in 1 month in my business. And then once I hit that, I'll worry about the next thing. But that's what my number one goal is in reference to like business revenue. My third business goal is to get monetized on this channel. So if you don't know, me and my fiance have another YouTube channel. It's called Lashawnda and Michael, and that channel is monetized. I'm trying to get this channel monetized, okay? Because this is my main business platform. So over there, it's more so like just us talking about different things, talking about our relationship, giving advice, things of that nature. And on this platform, it's gonna mean so much for me to get monetized over here and allow this channel to grow, because this channel is this is an extension of my business. So when this channel grows, I know I'm going to be getting in front of a lot more people. I'm going to be getting a lot more opportunities. And so the very first step to that for me, I feel, is to at least get monetized, so that I could be bringing in revenue from this channel along with getting more subscribers, because they have a requirement. So if I'm getting monetized, I have at least 1,000 subscribers. I have at least 4,000 watch hours. So I feel that at that point, I would have started to create a community behind my YouTube channel. So that's the third one. The fourth goal that I have is to create and launch a signature academy. So like I mentioned earlier in this video, I realized that I was not really a fan of the launch model, and I want something a little more evergreen where you can enroll all throughout the year. And I would love to be able to have one specific offer that has a curation of different pieces of content in one umbrella. So instead of me launching 4 different programs this year, like I was originally planning to, that was my original plan. Instead of me doing that, I am actually going to create an online business academy where I'm going to take you through the stages, which was going to be my programs that I was going to be launching, but it's going to be all under one hub. So you can go through whatever stage it is that you're in at that time. And I still don't know the logistics of how I want it to look, what I want to include, when it's going to roll out, but that is a big goal that I have for my business. And the fifth and last goal that I have is to hire help and build a team. So I already have a virtual assistant that's kind of on standby that I plan on hiring for my business. I also plan on hiring a video editor and just any other area that I see that I would like to outsource. That's what I want to focus on in my business this year, so that I can start showing up in the areas that are actually going to bring in revenue in my business versus getting stuck in admin tasks or, just doing back end stuff that takes a lot of time. because in the past, when I was doing my coaching business before, like years ago, I remember I would be behind the computer working on back-end stuff for hours, and it would really cause me to struggle to show up on Facebook or on Instagram or on other platforms because I was so tied up in admin stuff and back-end stuff. So I want to eliminate that this year and really just hire who I need to hire and stay in my zone of genius. Okay, so I feel like I said a lot, but we got a little bit more, okay, and then we're gonna wrap this up. So like I said, I'm trying to be more personal. So I'm going to also share the top 5 personal goals that I have for my life that I would like to see happen this year. Now, the first goal that I have already achieved, so I'm really excited about that. My first goal was to restore my relationship with God. So you guys don't know about this, so y'all gonna be learning about this for the first time, but I have had a very rocky relationship with God within the last couple of years because I had something happen years ago when I was like really strong in my faith that just essentially just shook me. It just shook my being, and it just really made me angry with God. I didn't understand why that happened to me, and why would you let this happen to me? And like, woe is me, and I was in my feelings, and I let that linger for years. And I started struggling with my faith and my belief system. And thankfully for my fiance, he's very spiritual. He's always talking about God. And, he's stepping out into speaking this year. And throughout this process, we actually brought in the new year by fasting. And that was the first year both of us had ever fasted. And my goal of the fast was to try to hear from God, to just start the process of rebuilding my relationship with God and letting him know that I'm going to put in the work to get back reconnected with you. And so that was really, really good that we did. But not only that, within January, I've been doing little things behind the scenes, like reading the Bible, getting back into the sermons. And we recently went to church this past Sunday, and within that service, I officially felt like God had welcomed me back and that my relationship was restored. Like, I felt that sense of peace again that I have not felt in such a long time. I felt the Holy Spirit speaking to me. And after that experience that I've had this past weekend, I can officially say that I feel that my relationship with God has been restored. My faith has been restored. So yes, girl, I'm so proud. I'm so proud of that. That's a really, really big win. My second personal goal is that I want to read 12 books this year. So essentially like 1 book per year, but I have a list of different books that I want to just read. Some of them are business books. Some of them are self-development books. I didn't list them because I felt like if I listed them, that would make this video really, really long. But if you are interested in knowing what my 12 books are, leave a comment and I'll drop the list in the comment section. But I'm not gonna list it here. But that's one of my goals as well. The third goal I have for my personal goals is to do a social media detox quarterly. So I did a social media detox for the very first time last year, I want to say in June or July, and I got off of social media for the entire month, all platforms, and it was the most refreshing experience I have had. Because when you are on social media, especially when you're going through like internal stuff and internal battles and dealing with comparison and all these different things, especially that you experience in the business industry, it just became overwhelming and triggering to see certain people and certain, and you really don't know what's going on behind the scenes at the end of the day, but it can still be triggering when you're really trying to reach certain goals and you feel like certain people are there and you're constantly seeing it in your face and you're like, well, why I ain't there yet? Like, what's going on? And so I did that social media detox, and it just really reset my spirit. It really reset my mindset. I was able to think for myself and not think for what other people are telling me I need to do, what other gurus are advising me to do. And that's how I was able to come up with the direction of rebranding my channel and rebranding my business to Lashawnda Smith from the First Year Business Coach, and really just stepping into coaching and doing my podcast and focusing on one platform. So I want to do that quarterly now. At the end of each quarter or whenever I feel I need it, I want to feel comfortable doing that and being intentional about doing that. The fourth goal that I have is to upgrade my wardrobe and take self-care more seriously. My wardrobe needs an upgrade, okay? And I don't know if it's just a girl thing, because it's not that I don't have a lot of clothes, because I feel like I have a pretty good amount of clothes. I feel like the issue is because I have grown mentally. I feel that the clothes that I used to enjoy or feel comfortable wearing, I no longer feel comfortable or enjoy wearing. And a perfect example is a lot of my clothes are black. I don't know if you noticed on this channel, but I have a lot of black clothes. And before it was never really a problem. But I realized that the colors that you wear really symbolizes how you feel inside. And I don't remember where I saw this at. I had someone talk to me about this, about how you wear the colors of how you're feeling and how you can look at what someone has on and you can kind of tell what they're going through or whatever. But I digress. I feel like I have really grown mentally. And so now certain outfits that I have, I'm like, I don't really want to wear that. I'm feeling really colorful today. I'm not trying to wear black or white all the time. But I personally love those colors. So this year I want to really tap into updating my wardrobe. And then the second reason is because I have a lot of business attire. I don't have a lot of lounge and house attire. And so when I'm creating content, I don't want to always feel like I have to dress up. I want to be able to wear relaxing clothing that's comfortable. I get cold easily, so like me wearing this sweater on here is perfect. But I want to be able to wear other things that I feel appropriate for the amount of content that I'm gonna be creating without always feeling like I gotta show up and be like looking professional. Hope that makes sense. The last goal that I have for myself is to continue to create new friendships. So this is both in business and just in general. I think I did really good with this last year because I got some really good friendships going on. People out here making really boss moves. So I am really grateful for being intentional about me creating new friendships. I will say that in 2023, I had to let some friendships go too now. So people that just couldn't come on the train in the next season of my life. And I want to take 2023 to really step into creating more friendships so that I can eventually have a party for some type of holiday or for my birthday. Because at one point I'm like, I ain't got no friends to be able to even invite to nothing like this, you know? So I want to be able to do different things that require friendships and be able to bounce ideas off of each other, support each other, just have conversation with each other. And I never had that as like a teenager. I never had like their group of kids because I was a single mom. So, you know, we couldn't really relate in certain areas no more because I had to be a mom and I couldn't go out and do the things that they were doing. And so now that I'm an adult, I really want to be intentional about creating new friendships and nurturing those friendships so that they can become long-term. So those are my goals. I hope that this video was enjoyable or helpful, or, you know, even if you just wanted to sit here and hear my goals, because that's pretty much what I did. If you have not set goals for this year, I will highly suggest you take a pencil or a pen and a notebook and set some goals for this year. Don't just let this year pass by. Really try to focus on what you want to hit this year, whether it's personal or business, and get on it. And one thing that I am going to do is make sure that I keep my goals front and center this year so that I can make sure that throughout the year, I'm working on hitting these specific goals. Okay, so that's all I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.